Paris, summer of 1911. A heat wave had suffocated the city for weeks. The streets were empty, the air unmoving, as if the entire capital had slipped into a trance. Even the Louvre, usually alive with footsteps and whispers, felt abandoned, a hollow giant. But while the city hid from the unbearable heat, one man was waiting, watching, counting the hours until the moment arrived. It was Sunday, August 20th. That night, he stepped out of the shadows, walked through the museum's silent corridors, and pulled off a theft so bold it would shake the entire world. He entered the Louvre unnoticed. He lifted the Mona Lisa from her place and vanished into Paris before dawn. What followed was chaos. False leads, famous suspects, international panic, 2 entire years of confusion. The truth didn't surface until a single letter arrived, a letter that unraveled the most daring art heist ever attempted. To understand how it all happened, we need to go back to a quiet Sunday evening when the plan finally began. Just before closing time, as the last visitors drifted toward the exits, a man blended seamlessly with the museum staff. He slipped inside unnoticed. He wore a white worker's smock, the kind used by Louvre employees. He walked with purpose, with the calm familiarity of someone who had done this many times before. No guard questioned him. He made his way to a small utility closet, slipped inside, shut the door behind him. Then he waited, all night, silent, unmoving. He knew the rhythm of the museum. He knew Mondays were sacred, the one day the Louvre remained closed. At 7:15 in the morning, with the halls empty and still, the man emerged from hiding. He headed straight for the Salon Carré. And there she was, the Mona Lisa, unprotected, unwatched, hanging quietly on a simple wall. At that time, she wasn't yet the global icon she is today, but she was about to become one. Working quickly, he lifted her from the mountings, tucked the painting in his arms, walked toward a service staircase. There, he removed the painting from its wooden frame, using a small screwdriver. He wrapped the canvas in a white cloth, fragile, like a newborn. Then he headed to the nearest exit. But the door was locked. For a brief moment, everything threatened to fall apart. Then, pure chance intervened. A Louvre plumber turned the corner, saw the man in the staff uniform, walked over, and casually unlocked the door for him. No questions asked. The thief stepped outside, into the hot morning air, carrying the Mona Lisa under his arm, as if it were nothing more than a rolled-up poster. In a matter of minutes, he disappeared into the streets of Paris. No alarm was raised. No one saw anything unusual. For the next 28 hours, no one even realized she was gone. It was only when museum photographers returned and couldn't find the painting anywhere that suspicion began to rise. Then the horror set in. The Mona Lisa was missing. Police were called. Detectives swarmed the Louvre, and one of the strangest investigations of the century began. News spread like wildfire. Governments, newspapers, art collectors, all demanded answers. Where was the world's most famous painting? Forensic clues were scarce. Just an empty frame and a single fingerprint. To accelerate the search, a massive reward was announced. $250,000, a fortune at the time. Suddenly, everyone claimed to have seen the Mona Lisa. Leads poured in from every direction. The stories were wild. One witness swore she was on a freight train to Belgium. Another insisted she was on a ship crossing the Atlantic to America. But the investigation only became stranger. Police turned their eyes to the famous. And the most shocking suspect? Pablo Picasso. Why? Because a secretary close to Picasso confessed to stealing Iberian statues from the Louvre. She sold them to the artist. The serial numbers matched. Picasso was interrogated, suspected of stealing the Mona Lisa too. The scandal nearly destroyed him. Then it escalated. J.P. Morgan, the American banking titan, was suddenly dragged into the chaos. Rumors suggested he ordered the theft himself. Police boarded a transatlantic ship in the harbor. They searched it from bow to stern, turning it inside out. Nothing. For 2 years, the world was obsessed with theories. But the real painting was much closer than anyone imagined. The Mona Lisa hadn't crossed any borders. She wasn't on a ship. She wasn't with any billionaire. She was inside a small apartment just 2 miles from the Louvre, belonging to Vincenzo Peruggia, a 29-year-old Italian handyman who once worked at the museum. He knew the building's weaknesses. He knew Mondays were perfect. He even helped build the protective casing for the Mona Lisa, the same one he dismantled during the theft. After escaping, he hid the painting in a custom-made trunk with a false bottom. But here's the most unbelievable twist. Police actually visited his apartment twice while the Mona Lisa was hidden inside. They never found a thing. Even his fingerprints didn't match the one at the crime scene, because the police only had his right-hand prints. The print left at the Louvre was from his left. Incredibly, he almost got away with everything. But after 2 years of hiding the painting, Peruggia grew impatient. He sent an anonymous letter to an art dealer in Florence, claiming he had the real Mona Lisa and wanted to return her to Italy. He signed the letter, Leonardo. The dealer met him at his hotel room. Peruggia opened the false-bottom trunk, and there she was. The dealer played along, saying they'd examined the painting for authenticity. He took it away, then immediately alerted the police. Peruggia was arrested, served just 7 months in prison. He died 10 years later. Secret still buried. For years, it was believed Peruggia acted alone. But in 1932, a journalist named Carl Decker revealed a shocking claim. The heist was orchestrated by Eduardo de Valfierno, a master art forger. According to Decker, Valfierno planned to sell 6 perfect Mona Lisa forgeries to 6 American millionaires. The only way to convince them was to make the real painting disappear. And so, he allegedly hired Peruggia to steal it. Once the theft made global headlines, the forgeries sold instantly. Valfierno vanished with a fortune worth nearly $90 million today. Whether this story is fully true is still debated. So what do you think? Was Peruggia a patriot trying to bring Mona Lisa home? Or was he just a pawn in one of the most brilliant forgery schemes ever executed? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this mystery, hit the like button, subscribe, and join us again as we uncover the stories the world was never meant to know. Because for a few unforgettable hours, one man walked through the streets of Paris with the Mona Lisa under his arm, and the world never saw it coming.